Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we're going to do a little garden cleanup and we're going to do a little project update. We're going to go see Jerry at the barn because he has been working over there. So we're going to go see what he is up to. But first we must get some cleanup done. And I tell you this all the time, fall, winter, I tend to like to get out in the garden as much as I can, even on a cloudy day, because you never know when you're gonna get a week's worth of rain, and I just have to get out in the garden. And now that 2026 gardens are on my mind, I am already, Christmas is over, and I am moving towards the gardens of this coming year. How can I prepare what I currently have to be the most successful for this coming spring and summer and fall? So that is what I am going to be doing today. Going to have a nice little small area, nothing too big. Of course, this is right here in the backyard. So this is the bed that's right off of the patio. Of course, the whole house generator's here. This is the side of the house that has like a lot of the utilities, the generator, the air conditioning units are all right here. This is the side that faces the creek. People do not get a lot of views on this area, and so, but that doesn't mean that we can't have a beautiful garden. So what we're going to do is we're going to come through, we're going to take care of some perennials, get them cleaned up. Yes, I have weeds. Everybody has weeds here in the South. I swear that winter weeds are worse than summer weeds sometimes. It's not that bad, but we've got a few in there we need to take care of. And then we are going to lay down some compost and we're going to go ahead and mulch this bed. Basically, that's all I'm gonna have to do until sometime like this summer when I need to go ahead and prune. So let me show you the space. Let me show you what we're gonna do today. The garden that we're going to focus on is basically from the generator down to the steps. It is not a very big space. Maybe it is 15 feet wide, I would say, and maybe 10 feet deep. So it's a nice little rectangular bed filled with shrubs and perennials. And yes, the occasional weed. So what we're going to really focus on today is cleaning up the perennials that are here. So like I have got some phlox, I have got some veronicas, I have got peonies right there that need to be cut back, and salvias, all that kind of stuff. Yes, like I said, there are weeds. We have some dandelions just going nuts, living their best life right here. So we're going to take care of those and probably go ahead and prune back. This is the Scentlandia, which is a sweet spire. It blooms on new growth. So we'll probably, since I'm in this space, I'm thinking let's just go ahead and take care of it, right? Let's do it now. Let's get it once and done. So all of the perennials really do need some attention. I have got the alliums. This is a bubblehead. Just gonna kind of clean those up a little bit, and I dare say that these are remnants of old weeds. So obviously we don't want those in there, so we're gonna take those out. My salvia, this is Big Sky. I had let it flower as long as it could. And so we have got some of the old blooms that just need to be cut back. Obviously it's nice and green. So this is one of the newest introductions of salvias from Proven Winners. Obviously, as its name suggests, is a very nice, big, large salvia. We've had temperatures into the teens, the low teens, multiples in the low 20s, and it is still green. So yay for that. My lavender, I'm not going to do anything to lavender. This is phenomenal. Leave it alone. If I prune it, it will be, and I will prune it, but it will be in late winter going into spring. So we're going to leave that alone. And then we have got some coreopsis right here. We're going to cut this all the way back because if you can see, deep down in there, there is some green, but all of this just needs to come off. So all the perennials are going to get cut back. I've got liatris back here that's going to get cut back. So really simple. Don't overthink this portion of it, y'all. Now that we are in, Christmas has come and gone. We're, end of December going into January. All of these perennials, they can have some attention given to them. And I'm already thinking of the mindset because spring is so incredibly busy for us, both from a production standpoint and then from a gardening standpoint, that if I am in this space at this time of the year, I'm going to go ahead and take care of everything that I possibly can. Pruning back my perennials. Go ahead and pruning these shrubs that bloom on new growth. So they need to be pruned. So let's do it now. Clean up any of those weeds, get out the debris, anything that may be in here. Then I'm going to come through and lay down a nice little layer of compost because this soil is naturally horrible, and the more I amend my soil, the less I have to feed my plants with a synthetic fertilizer. The happier they are, the stronger their root system is. This is not on irrigation, so I need them to thrive on their own. So amending the soil helps tremendously, and then laying down a good layer of mulch not only helps the plants, it retains moisture, it helps act like an insulating blanket for their roots, but selfishly, it keeps out the weeds. It helps dramatically reduce the number of weeds that are in your flower bed. So that is what we're going to do. So first things first, we're going to go through and we're going to trim back the perennials. We're going to do all the pruning and all of the weed removal. My supplies are very limited today because I don't need very much. So I have, of course, my #1 cheerleader down there. Yep, she's down there. So you'll see her running around. I have got a pop-up, so whatever your container is, a container of choice is to put all the debris in, I will then put it into the John Deere so I can haul it away. And then I have got my cushy kneeling pad because I'm going to be on my hands and knees a lot. So I've got my kneeling pad, then of course my tool belt that has all of my supplies. The supplies that I need today are going to be my Felco #2s. You need a good set of pruners, and then my hoary because those dandelions, they have a very deep taproot. So I'm going to use my hoary to get down in there and pop them out. I also have, I don't have it right here, it's up in the front, is my little hand rake. So if I need to get any kind of weeds or debris or whatever around, especially those Scentlandias, I'll use my little hand rake to get all of that cleaned out. So let's get this bed transformed, get it ready for a beautiful spring and summer season. That way we can go check out and see what Jerry is doing over at the barn. Alrighty, so there you go. So much neater, tidier, cleaner looking. Look at that. Jerry came over and helped me a little bit. We're going to head over to the barn here in just a second. So he came over and helped me just in time when I was getting ready to battle those Scentlandia and get them cut back. He was like, let's just get the hedge trimmers. So he got the hedge trimmers and gave him a good pruning. That's the thing about Scentlandia. It is a native shrub. It is beautiful. It does great, gorgeous white flowers in the late spring, early summer. Nice green plant for the duration of the summer, and then in the fall the foliage turns this like gorgeous deep rich red, and it holds on to the foliage for a very long time before it eventually will let those leaves go. It blooms on new growth, so you can prune it as much as you want, basically from the fall moving on until the spring. You'd want to go ahead and prune it before it starts leafing out. That way you don't set your blooms back too far. But Scentlandia is a great one. If you have a damp area, Scentlandia will do really well. I will just say, if it is happy, it will spread and naturalize. That's what it's doing in this bed. So we just kind of pull it up where I don't want it, and then I just kind of cut it out. So just know that if it is happy, it will send out runners wherever you may go. Let's flip around the camera and show you how it looks here and that it's all done. So there you go. Really with those perennials, y'all just cut them back. It is fine. The peony that I have right here, it is an Ito peony. And so it is kind of like a cross. And so that's why of the two peonies. And so it's like a tree peony, herbaceous peony. So that's why some of those stalks are a little bit taller, is because I had some bud swells already, like the leaf swells on it. So I didn't cut it straight down to the ground like you would a traditional peony. But we weren't, when we were laying down the compost and the mulch, we weren't too particular, y'all. These plants are tough. They have to be in order to survive right here. The conditions in this bed are pretty tough because it gets blazing hot, hot, hot sun, not on irrigation. And so, yeah, it is fine if some of the plants get covered up with a little bit of mulch and compost. They will be tough. They will come through. They will actually like it because they'll get some good nutrition for those soil, getting down into their roots. So yeah, I'm not fussing about this. I don't have time for divas in the garden, and this bed especially does not have divas in the garden. But it looks nice and neat and tidy, and I feel good about it, and we are good to go. So Miss Brenna and I can call it a day, and we're gonna head over and check with Jerry and the barn update. All right, my friends, look who I found. He is covered in sawdust and sawdust. I'm just gonna go ahead and warn you, he's a little chippy today, so you're gonna get Jerry in rare form probably, which is fun. So, all right, we're gonna do, I'm gonna let him talk. He is mic'd up, so that's good. And he's gonna kind of run through what he has done so far today and why he is at a stopping point and can go no further as of right now.
Okay, in review, we had to add some posts on the back side of the existing barn. So had all this siding over here that we cut off because it was all going over into that wall. So I ran a chalk line from the top and then all the way down to kind of give me a good estimate. All this is going to get tied in anyways when we run our new outside wall. But I got all that off. Cut out you saw me, I've got a section on there where we did the notch, and it's a double notch because we had the notch to go over the top of the beam. So I had to cut that out and kind of come up with the measurement so the top notch lines up with the existing notch to the barn to catch the beam. And then there's another notch to go over the top of the beam. So we had to do that on both sides. So then we ran some huge flag screws all the way through. For some reason today, the impact driver did not want to send that screw all the way through, so I had to get the big boy out. You know, that big drill torque, you know, nice. Oh yeah, it did great, you know, on moving everything, but it was really heavy. up there at the top. So
Yeah,
get
'cause,
all
I mean,
that built in.
you're up there.
Yeah.
What's that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's 12 feet.
12 feet?
Yeah, that's
Yep.
just 12 feet from, that's a 12, 6 by 6 by 12. So it's all tied into the structure. So now we can come off of there and run our, it's a triple beam. It goes from there all the way across to the next post. So I'm kind of at a stopping point right now because I could not find my, my bubble level for put on the chalk line so I can get my level point all the way back there to the back. So Jackson and Emily have run off to catch something up at the Lowe's or somewhere. I don't know where they're going to go get it. But yeah, but I spent some time since I got that. I got all this area cleaned up to kind of make it a little safer for working. We moved the wall that was laying here, did some grading and everything, kind of clean it up, got rid of all the dirt so we can put ladders right up against the post and cut the tops off and put all the notches on. So as soon as we get that done, we can start putting beams together, like I said, and start rolling. If I don't get that today, I could start. I got the crush and run, so I could add that and start running that grade up.
Yep, so you can see that this is called crush and run because it has a lot of real fine, you call them fines, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
fines, it's a mixture of fines and
fines
hard
and gravel,
sand.
right? So
Yeah.
you can see, I mean, like right here, we've got 3 different kinds of gravel. We've got the little teeny like pebble gravel, then you've got the crush and run that is right here, and then there's like wash stone in the back. So
And
you'll
speaking
use.
of, we probably should call them and say we need some D-size batteries for that laser, because that thing was on the last time I was trying to do this, it was on the brink.
Okay. Yes.
So we need to call them. But anyway, I ran that back and forth, got the little bobcat in here and kind of scoot things around and started kind of grading on the back side to make sure the water goes around the building. Just
because you're going to use the crush and run inside to level this up and to raise the grade up.
Yep.
And so this is crush and run right here as well.
Yeah, on that corner. I just kind of threw it over there. I needed a little bit for that post, and I went ahead and just kind of raised this up. I know it's like 4 or 5 inches. We got to come up right here, so I can put the laser back on that, see where we're at. Gets us up all the way from here to that post. So all this back here, when the water comes, it'll just go around the building.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. I moved some other wood siding stuff that was in the way right there. Got that out of the way. So we're ready to go. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so my friends, there you go. It's been a great afternoon here at Creekside. I got the garden all taken care of. Got an update from Jerry. He needs to remember to call Emily and Jackson, remind them to get some D batteries. This is a mental note for us. And but yeah, the progress continues here at Creekside. As January into December, January tends to be a very heavy time for us to do lots of good projects here at the nursery because we're closed and we don't have customers coming. Those of you that are interested, go ahead and mark your calendars for Saturday, February the 21st, because the garden center will be open. So that's kind of Jerry's deadline for this.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get it done. If not, we'll have a roof, hopefully.
We better have a
we'll
roof
have
by
some help
February
coming in
21st.
by January or so.
Yes.
To help us.
We'll have our
knock it
fellows
out.
come back.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, we're planning a big day for that day. Mark it on your calendar, February 21st. We're talked about it. Trying to line up our food trucks and have a real big day. Weather, will cooperate.
Fingers crossed that the weather will cooperate this year. It did not this past year. So anyway, as always, we so appreciate you. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.